This is the most obnoxious thing I've ever experienced in my life.
I couldn't agree more. Hello everyone, and welcome to the very first video on this lovely channel of mine. I'm just Pseudo. If you're one of my 5 viewers from my main channel, then you probably know me better as the pseudo-intellectual. To put it in the simplest way possible, I'm a lifeless goober who makes anime videos in his spare time. And they're pretty fucking gay, but you know, I'm proud of them. I think they're fine for what they are. So if you want to check that out, then go ahead and do that. This channel is just a place for me to talk about shit that I can't talk about on the main channel. And today, I'm going to be talking to you about VTubers, my favorite subject. Bitches ain't shit. So for those of you who are out of the loop, who knows, maybe you've been spending the past 2 years living under a fucking rock or something. Maybe you were too busy getting mad coochie throughout the pandemic and you didn't realize where entertainment was going. VTubers are virtual YouTubers. They are online e-celebrities who do normal YouTuber things, but instead of showing their face or just hiding it entirely, they do it under the guise of a virtual avatar. It can either be 2D or 3D, and it's usually in the form of anime, though there's plenty of others who have messed around with the concept some more. There's like a gun VTuber, there's a dog VTuber. Basically, anything goes as long as you're hiding your face behind some sort of avatar or something, and it's usually done for the main purpose of hiding your real-life identity, keeping your private life a secret and all that, while the entire spectacle started off as a huge production with a team of people working behind each individual avatars and all that jazz. Nowadays, it's more just live streaming with a virtual avatar. That's kind of the niche, the most popular thing to do with this concept these days, which brings us to Hololive. They are a VTuber agency established in Japan, and they're probably the ones who have managed to capitalize on this whole wave of new entertainment the most. They're the ones who popularized this new form of VTubing. They are extremely popular, and I'll admit, I'm kind of a fan of quite a lot of their talents as well. You know, I enjoy their stuff for the most part, especially their song covers. I've been able to find so many good Japanese songs through them, and I think their original stuff is pretty great too. It's pretty catchy, though I'm not that much of a snob when it comes to music. I digress though. Despite their incredibly popular nature, recently, one of their talents have gotten into quite a bit of drama recently, Uruha Rushia, and the discourse has been going on for several days now. I'm honestly getting fucking sick of seeing it on my Twitter feed, so I'm gonna make some content out of it, so let's just dive right in. Our story begins on a normal day of streaming on Rushia's channel. She was doing a GTA 5 collaboration stream with one of her co-workers, Sakura Miko, another member in the company. Everything remained normal for the most part. Unfortunately, as it turns out, Rushia left her Discord notifications on. You know that little pop-up thing in the corner when you get a message on Discord? She left that on. And in the middle of the stream, she suddenly gets a message from a person called Mafu Mafu. For those of you who don't know, Mafu Mafu is a Japanese artist. He is extremely popular. I've listened to a few of his songs myself. I think they're pretty good. And similar to a lot of Japanese artists, he has a lot of very passionate fans, if you catch my drift. So anyway, the message reads out, "I'm coming home now," and then he proceeds to use a nickname that's played off of Rushia's other persona outside of Hololive, the one more closely related to her real-life identity. This caused a massive outbreak within the Japanese community, with many speculating that the two might be dating, and they were not very happy. A lot of people took to Twitter to voice out their grievances. A lot of them made sure to fully express just how hurt and betrayed they are that Rushia had the gall to have a boyfriend. How could she do this to us? Did all those red super chats mean nothing to her? No, this can't be. So, needless to say, there were quite a few people who had a meltdown over the situation. So, let's go through some of them and have a bit of a laugh, shall we? Big thanks to Kuri Rinji and Banned VTuber Memes for collecting all this spicy stuff. Uruha Rushia. I'm sad. I said that I like it so much, but I said that there was only a lot of people. But when I saw that notification, my head became blank, and my emotions were messed up. World, what should I do from now on? Tell me. I bought a lot of medicine because I can't stand it anymore. drink all this and die. If I said the words I want to say, I'd get suspended. I genuinely hope the absolute worst for you. Burn in hell. And then you can see she lied to her fans that she is single and is only dedicated to her fans. Sorry, but I will not white knight liars. Which one should I move to now that she has betrayed me? Rushia, you fucking whore. I bought your Daki and this is how you repay me? You've made a cuck out of me. These two I'm not even gonna read out. This is just fucked up. Okay, so obviously there's a lot of emotions being thrown around here. A lot of people obviously feel very emotional about this subject, and honestly, I can't really say much about it. Like, obviously a lot of these messages are pretty fucked up. Some of them go into pretty deranged territory, but as a whole, this drama's pretty fucking petty. Like, okay, your favorite VTuber has a boyfriend. Are you really that surprised? Like, you know, telling you that they love you is just part of the job, right? Like, I'm sure they feel some form of gratefulness to their fans, but like, at the end of the day, it's a job, it's a paycheck, and that's completely fine. I don't have a problem with that. I have absolutely no problems with people chasing the bag. Make your money through any means necessary as long as you're not hurting anyone. Go for it, I don't care. Parasocial relationships have always been a tricky subject to tackle. In some aspects, it can be pretty sympathetic because it's not just Sims who do this stuff. Some people do it because that's generally the only way they have human interactions. They're just way too busy with their jobs, and that's the only time they ever get any social relationships they can. As unhealthy as it is, that's their only avenue, and I can sympathize with that in some way. However, just because I can understand the pain doesn't mean I support it. Like, I don't support the idea of parasocial relationships at all. I think it's unhealthy. I think it's just a really bad thing to practice, and I don't think it should be encouraged in any way. And I can sit here all day just reading through these comments and making fun of these fucking losers, because that's what you are if you do resort to this kind of thing. If you harass anybody, then you're a fucking degenerate and a loser, and if you think a content creator is your girlfriend just because you gave them a bit of money, what is wrong with you? I don't think any normal person will argue with me on that. I think they can agree with that point. So instead of just taking the moral high ground and morally grandstanding and making fun of these retards, I figured it'd be more interesting to analyze the other side of the arguments, because I'm not on anyone's side here. I have absolutely no stake to play in this. I have no strong feelings about any of the people involved here. I am just a vulture in this scenario. So with that being said, I want to bring up my next point. The Rushia fans who got angry and said all this nasty shit are in fact bad. I will never try to argue that fact. However, I would argue that people who complain about these fucking retards are just as bad. For the past few days, my Twitter feed has been filled with people retweeting posts just complaining about all these crazy fans who are mad at Rushia for having a boyfriend. I wouldn't even know about this drama if these fucking retards didn't keep retweeting this shit. It was such a small and petty thing that happened, but it was blown completely out of proportion because people made a mountain out of a molehill. No sane human being actually cares what 4chan says. Everyone knows that website is full of fucking degenerates. And all these spurgs on Twitter and Reddit going crazy, no one cares about them either. Like, 1 or 2 people saw that tweet. The only reason they got so much attention was because you're retweeting that shit. Why would you give it any more attention than they deserve? Like, I understand it's fun to mock them, and I'm not blaming you for mocking them. Go ahead and do that. I'm making a video mocking them right now. But when you go day after day just retweeting this shit for the sole purpose of mocking it, it slowly starts to get old very quick, and at some point I just don't even give a shit anymore. I just want you both to shut the fuck up. If you're harassing Rushia because she might have an IRL boyfriend, you're no better than the Chinese aunties that went after Coco. That's a stance I will not move on. Rushia has a boyfriend? Good on her. Y'all weirdos are just weird. Rushia is allowed to have a boyfriend. She's a real person like us. Wow, bro. Wow. Wow, good fucking job. You stated the obvious. You stated the fucking obvious. Like, personally, it started off as a really good message, a really good reminder to spread around to the people that your favorite VTuber will never fuck you, and that's a good message to always remind these fucking losers. But when you go on for so long, like I said, it starts to look like you're just moral grandstanding at that point, and that muddies the message in my opinion. Putting that aside though, this is where we get into a bit of dangerous territory, because I feel the need to criticize criticize some of the people directly involved in this, specifically Rushia and Mafu themselves.
What did you say, nigga?
Now let's be clear about something. I obviously don't think they deserve to have death threats or harassments hurled their way. I'm not saying that at all. However, let's not pretend this also isn't a byproduct of their own fucking stupidity. One of the main arguments from people who were quite critical of Rushia herself is that she kinda had it coming because she was playing into the girlfriend experience, meaning she wasn't very reserved or ever hesitated to ever pander to these fucking losers. In a way, I can kind of understand that argument. That does not mean I agree with it, but I think there's definitely a discussion that can be had about that. No dude, Rushia's not at fault at all, she's just playing a character. People should know that. People should know she's playing a character. She's not at fault at all for ever giving into and pandering to these fucking losers. Anybody who thought this was ever real, anybody who ever fell for that shit is just fucking losers, man. Admittedly, you're not wrong. If anybody ever thought this was a real intimate relationship between you and the VTuber, then you're fucking stupid. However, allow me to present this argument to you. A lot of other talents in Hololive don't give out the girlfriend experience. Some of my favorite members, such as Mori Calliope, Ninomai Inanis, Pekora, and Suise, don't give out the girlfriend experience. They always make sure to set boundaries. They don't hesitate to show appreciation and gratitude towards their fans, but they never at any point try to give off the idea that they are in a relationship with their fucking chat, for the most part. Rushia never really sets that boundaries for her fans. She always kinda just plays into them. I say this as someone who does watch her clips rather regularly. I mean, come on, her latest merchandise was a wedding ring. Idol culture is fucking cancer. We all know that. And Japan doesn't take mental health very seriously, so it has just cultivated into this really toxic cesspool of fucking degenerates. However, plenty of the girls in Hololive have shown that they are pretty much in relationships in real life. Okayu and Korone, for example, are very transparent about how close they are, and it wouldn't surprise anyone if they were actually dating with how intimate they are. Heck, two other members, Flair and Noel, blatantly admit that they are together and that they wear engagement rings, and people are fine with it. Now I get it, it could be a factor of them both being female and these freaks are okay with lesbian relationships but can't stand a man being near their idols. However, I still think this wouldn't have been such a big deal if Rushia didn't pander so much to these fucking losers. If she had set boundaries, then I think the reaction would have been less severe.
実は結婚するよっていうことをずっともうファンの方には言ってたんですよ。だから結婚するから私にそのなんていうかな恋をしたりだとか、そのいわゆるガチ恋とかですか恋をしたりだとかなんかこうのりお先生と付き合いたいみたいなことを思われてもそれに残念ながら答えることができないのでまあその人の気持ちをねどう持つかはその人の勝手だからそこは強制はできないんだけどできればまあガチ恋はしないでほしいなガチ恋は必須衣装だよみたいなまあもっときつく言ったらちょっと禁止だよみたいなことを言ってたんですけど
This is Norio Skudani. She is the person behind Inuyama Tamaki, another popular VTuber, and it is open knowledge to the public that she is married to a man, and from what I've seen, people have no problems with it. She is a perfect example of why you should set boundaries.
結婚しますよガチ恋しないでくださいよみたいな恋心でお財布開かないでねっていうのはずっと言ってたのでまあ、そこはちゃんと
But that's just my opinion, who knows, maybe I'm just a fucking asshole. It just really annoys me that people will defend literally everything these girls do. I get it, you love them. Harassment is bad, I agree with you on that. They do not deserve to be harassed. However, that doesn't exempt them from criticism. And while my opinion of pandering to the girlfriend experience being a bad thing could just be a case of me being overly harsh, Mafu and Rushia messaging each other intimate shit through their professional accounts is objectively fucking stupid. Like, I don't care if these two are in a relationship, I really don't. But rumors about them being together were already around back in 2018 and they denied it at the time. So chances are if you are together, then you're definitely trying to hide it. So why would you take this risk of messaging each other on your professional accounts instead of a private chat? Your private life is none of my fucking business, but when you make a blatantly dumb mistake like this, I am well within my right to point out your stupidity and and laugh. But again, I have to reiterate this. I don't support any harassment. I don't think they deserve any of the crazy shit they received. I'm just annoyed that whenever you're even in the slightest bit critical of people who are not simps, then you're immediately put in the same camp as them. You can be critical of someone while not condoning harassment. I don't know if you know that. So as a final note before I go, I'd just like to say that Mafu did put out an apology for what happened. I don't know why he apologized. I don't think he had anything to be sorry about. Like, he made a really stupid move, but I don't think he did anything wrong. Rushia also put out a now deleted tweet that she is not in the best state of mind right now, but a fellow member by the name of Hachama seems to be taking care of her, so I'm glad. Again, I don't think she deserved any harassment. I don't support nor condone any of that shit in any way. If I were to give any advice on how to move forward, then I'd say stop with the pandering to Sims act. I don't think she even can go back to that now that this shit has broken out, so hopefully everything turns out okay for her. I wish the both of them nothing but success going forward, and I hope they get through this. So yeah, that's about it. That's pretty much all I had to say. Subscribe to my main channel, follow me on Twitter, and I will see you all next time. Later, faggots.
マフから送られてきたディスコードのこの文章。これね。たった今生放送終わって帰る準備してるよ。これは、そもそも、ルシアの方からマフに20時くらいにゲームを一緒にしたいと誘ってるんですよ。で、それに対する返答であると。で、それを考えた上で見ると、まあこれ一致するじゃないですか。いやいや、グルとかじゃない。